Good welcome, everyone. Welcome to our international section of the live virtual open house that we are hosting today. And we are going to have one of our student service advisors from our International Centre that is going to be delivering a brief presentation. And then we'll be opening it up to answer some questions from the community that has logged on. So don't forget to put in your chat, your question in the chat feature of this presentation. It'll go from around 10:30. Well, the whole session will be from 10:30 to 11:15. We'll do the presentation and then we'll have some time in there to answer some of your questions. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Sid. He is one of our student service officers with our International Centre. So welcome, Sid.
Thanks, Sylvia. Thank you so much. A very warm welcome to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending which country you have logged in from today. As Sylvia introduced, my name is Sid. I work at the International Centre as International Student Service Officer. I'll be guiding you through the features and services that the International Centre provides and some contact information on how you can contact us if you have any query, any issue or any question. So let's get started. This is the International Centre, so when it will be safe to be on campus, or if you have any classes, when you will join Georgian, when you will have any classes on campus, you can visit the International Centre. We have lounge with the International Centre. You can use monitor at the back if you have any assignments or you want to hang out with your friends in the lounge. We have Ask Me booth table at the lounge as well for any questions during the day you might want to ask or any transition questions that you might have. We organize events as well in the lounge. So, but again, we are not open at the campus yet. So, but we are working virtually. So some of the services included at the International Centre are immigration support, events, activities and workshops that we organize. We do have study and work abroad opportunities, the health insurance for international students, and housing support that we provide during your course, academic course at the Berry campus or other campuses as well. We'll look at the immigration support. So Georgian College International Centre, we offer immigration assistance to current international students. And now these services could be the online information session if you want to apply for your study permit, work permit, postgrad work permit, or you want to extend any of those permits. You want to apply for a new TRV, which is temporary resident visa. We do have online information sessions which are still happening, and we guide you on how you can apply for them. And if you have any questions, we guide you through that as well. Or if you have any other immigration questions that you want to ask us, we do have virtual appointments that you can book with student immigration advisor at the college. Some of the events, activities and workshops that we have organized in the past: Diwali, Day of the Dead event, Lunar New Year. We do organize and have organized activities and trips, Wonderland trip, Niagara Falls, trip to Toronto, treetop trekking. And these trips, they are at least twice per semester. Now let's talk about health insurance. So as an international student, it's mandatory for you to have international student insurance. So International Centre provides you with GuardMe insurance. Now this insurance covers emergency health conditions and anything new, for example, flu, sore throat, rash, or any new medical condition that you develop. And it starts on the day of insurance when the insurance coverage begins. So this plan does not cover any pre-existing condition. Other things that the health insurance includes are mobile doctor and keep me safe. Mobile doctor is, for example, if you do not have any kind of emergency or urgent health condition, but you do have something like cold and flu, cough, or migraine, pink eye, and you do not want to go out and visit a doctor, we do have mobile doctor through GuardMe. You can log on using your mobile device or laptop and get in touch with a real doctor, but through a virtual environment. They will assess you and they can even give you a prescription for any medicines that you might require. And again, this is available 24/7. So at any point of the day and night, you might require it. Other thing that GuardMe covers is Keep Me Safe. Keep Me Safe is a mental health and wellness support that's offered by GuardMe. So anything that you might be feeling as an international student, and which are very common, for example, stress, anxiety, you might be feeling alone in a new country, or you might be experiencing culture shock. These are all normal, but you might want to talk to someone during these times. So Keep Me Safe is a confidential mental health and wellness support program by GuardMe, and it is free for every international student who is registered and has GuardMe insurance. And you can access it again at any point of the day or night when you require it. Now let's come to housing support. So let's say that you're traveling to Canada and you have an in-person component in your program or even online classes, and you're traveling, you might require housing as well after your quarantine, definitely. We do provide housing assistance to all the international students, letting them know which are the off-campus housing or on-campus housing options available. We educate students as well. We educate students about responsible living and housing regulations that you need to be aware of, because again, when you're traveling to a new country, the game is same, the rules are different. We tell you the rules, what are the rules of responsible housing that you might be in need of, you might require, you might need to know about that. Then last thing is we support students who have complex housing situations. For example, you are in a housing environment where it is not safe for you to live there anymore, or you're experiencing something that you're not comfortable with in your housing. So we provide you with assistance with that as well. Live chats is something that we started post-COVID. We know that social distancing can bring social isolation as well. And we might be separated by borders. You might be in your home country. You might have a lot of questions and issues that you want to talk about before you register or after you register, or even if you're a current student or even if you're a graduate, you might have questions that you need answers for. We have been having live chats for the last 7 months now. It's on Instagram. You just need to follow IC Georgian. Again, doesn't matter if you're a new student, current student, you're planning to apply for Georgian, you're a graduate, you're in academic break. If you have any questions at any point of the week, just log on to your Instagram, follow IC Georgian. We have live sessions, live chats 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. Now here's the catch. When I say at noon, please convert it into your own time zone. When I say at noon, it's 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just convert it into your own time zone and log on. It's very informal. You can ask any questions that you might have. We've been having focus for these live chats on being connected, getting engaged, so that you don't feel a sense of alienation, even though when you're studying at the college. You can make friends through these platforms as well. Some of the issues that we have talked about in the live chat so far are updates, any updates that you should be aware of as an international student, questions related to student life, cultural adjustment. So in the last live chat, I had lots of questions come from students about how do I adjust in a new culture? What is the job market like? What is the education system like? So anything like that, any cultural steps, any cultural adjustment that you want to be aware of before you travel, you can ask those questions as well. Questions about life in Canada or general Q&A. Who do I contact? Who do I get in touch with this? How do I get in touch with this person? I have this issue. I want email ID of this person, or you do not know who to contact, or you just have a query. You just log on and ask your question right away. If you have questions after the open house as well about how I should apply for my application, I'm an international student, I have questions about my application or applied, I want to know status of that, anything, you just ask. Other things that we have done through live chats are, which is pretty cool. And again, we do these live chats as per the request of the students. We've done city tours and campus tours live on Instagram, showing you what your campus looks like and what does the city looks like, what does the city has to offer you. And again, as I said, through these platforms, you get to know the students and other programs as well as your own classmates in your own program. That's it. Thank you, Sylvia.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Sid. That was really, really helpful. Great overview. So we have some questions now from the live community that has joined. So I'm going to start right in and ask you some questions. Okay. Perfect. So the first one is, does the college offer any quarantine packages given the current COVID situation? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Definitely. So the college does offer a quarantine package for the students, and we have been offering it since we started in-person component in fall. The update is that we did submit our COVID-19 readiness plan, which is yet to be approved. But again, the quarantine package has two options, which is on-campus residence as well as a hotel option, depending on which option you prefer. If you have any other questions regarding the quarantine package, all the details are on the website. You can ask that in the live chat, or you can send an email. I'm going to post it in the chat section as well. You can send an email to quarantinesupport@GeorgianCollege.ca.
Wonderful. That's great. And just as a reminder for folks, if you have any questions, please put them in the live chat feature, and I'll forward them to Sid. All right. Another question that I, as a recruiter, are often asked, even though I'm a domestic student recruiter, we still, support international students. There's a question that comes through about Canada's pandemic plan, and apparently the international community, they post updates to this plan. And over the last couple of weeks, I had received quite a few questions on why hasn't Canada updated the pandemic plan. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, definitely. So this pandemic, again, this thing keeps on changing every week, every bi-weekly. Currently, the IRCC, which is Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship of Canada, they had restrictions in place for who can travel to Canada for fall 2020. The restrictions was that only those students with in-person component can travel, provided they have a complete quarantine plan with them. But going forward, winter 2021 onwards, any student studying at a DLI institution whose COVID-19 readiness plan has been approved can travel to Canada without any restriction, provided, again, you have a complete quarantine plan approved by the college.
Okay, great. Another question that has come through is about co-op placements. So we know that Georgian is one of Ontario's #1 co-op colleges. More of our programs, we offer more than 50% of our programs are co-op, and that's a really important part of post-secondary education. Can you talk a little bit about the co-op placements that students may get, and is there a possibility, I know you're not necessarily a co-op specialist, but you probably know a little bit about this, can students do a co-op in their home country?
Definitely. So we do, as Sylvia said, we do have a lot of programs which offers co-op and work placement opportunities to get some hands-on experience. You can definitely have co-op done in your home country. Just depends on program to program. Some programs are very skill-based and very specific technical requirements for which you need to be in Canada for. But you do get a co-op consultant in your program who will guide you with all the processes that you need in order for you to do your co-op either in your home country, or if you just want to travel to another country and work there for 4 months during your co-op term, you can do that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that. In this new reality, what's been happening in the last couple of years, oh my gosh, months.
It seems like that.
Yeah, I know, some days, right? Most of our courses programs are delivered remotely, and I know that some students are staying in, some international students are staying in their home country, and they are taking their classes remotely. So can you talk a little bit about what that means and what it means in terms of synchronous and asynchronous delivery? Because sometimes people aren't exactly sure what those two terms mean.
Definitely. So you might be having in your program S-line or A-line, which is synchronous or asynchronous. Synchronous means that you will have your classes as per the EST, which on at the time when the class is scheduled to happen. For example, if it is 10 a.m. EST, which is Eastern Standard Time, then it will be 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You just have to convert that in your own home country time zone and make sure that you attend that class at that particular time. Or if you have any assignments due, for example, you have an assignment due at 11 p.m. on Thursday night, then it has to be 11 p.m. Thursday night, Eastern Standard Time, not your home country time zone. Secondly, you might have some classes for which you do not require to be in the class at that particular moment. For example, some classes might be recorded, or you just have to access the study material. For that, you do not need to be in class at that particular time. You just need to make sure every course in your semester will tell you on your Blackboard, which is one of the student systems that we use. It will tell you whether your course is S-line or A-line, which is synchronous or asynchronous.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. Another question is, can you talk a little bit about what happens for those students that actually have received the approval to come and study here in the flesh after the quarantine is done, etc. Can you talk a little bit about what they can expect when they arrive as far as orientation goes, and kind of like getting comfortable and used to the Barrie community?
Definitely. So when you arrive, again, after clearing the immigrations and convincing the immigration officers about your quarantine plan, make sure that you have all the documents with you that you require at the time of your arrival in Canada. When you arrive, you get settled. You're in quarantine for 14 days. Again, I'm not sure what the final layout of the plan will be, because once it will be approved by IRCC, the COVID-19 readiness plan, we'll be able to give you more guidelines about what the new plan is. But so far, 14 days you have to quarantine. After 14 days, you will find your permanent housing during your quarantine only. But once you will finish your quarantine, you will move into your permanent housing. And from there, you will start your program. If it's remote or if you have in-person classes, you can go to the campus for your in-person classes. Orientation, again, for winter 2021, you will be receiving a notification, a CRM or communication from the college about orientation. Orientation is online. You don't have to be in person for that. You don't have to go to campus for that. You will have Head Start events completely remotely delivered. All of them will be recorded for your convenience, so that in case you miss it, you can go back and watch the videos again.
Awesome. And so do you want to maybe also just chat a little bit about some of the student services that all students, including international students, do receive when they study at Georgian?
Definitely. So I have been a student at Georgian as well. There are a lot of my personal advice to all international students have been that all you need to do is ask. We have almost all the services that you might require during your time as a student at the college, at Georgian College. So for example, some of the services that even I have used and are amazing are tutoring services. You have peer tutoring, which is that if you have any problem in your courses during your semester, you're not able to understand something, you need some help with your academics, you can have a peer tutor who can guide you with your course, with your academics. If you need any kind of writing help because there is a particular way, which is APA style that we follow here. If you want any help with that, we have Writing Center, Math Help, Research Center, the Co-op Center, which helps you and guides you and assists you with your co-op during your co-op semester. Career Hub, if you want to know about resume or cover letters, how do you make resume in Canada? What are the job searching criteria? How do I find a job? Interview skills. Then we have GCSA, which is Georgian College Student Association. There are several clubs in the association, which you can be a part of in order for you to be feeling involved with the campus and getting engaged with the campus.
Excellent. Yeah, thanks for that overview. Just to reiterate what Sid was just commenting on, we have, there are many student services and supports for students, including international students, and getting involved with the GCSA, which is Georgian College Student Association. It's kind of like high school student council. That is a really great way to get involved, get connected, and start meeting students from Canadian students, domestic students, in addition to other international students. And the one thing that I also wanted to just mention and add, Sit, is that we have that, in addition to all the student services, the International Centre is there for that additional layer of support for those international students. And it's a lovely space, and you had in your a photo of it in your presentation. So thank you for that. So we've got a couple more questions that are coming in. I just wanted to remind folks, if you do have a question, please type it into the chat, and we will answer as best we can. We can't always answer all the questions in the live session, so we will answer by private message. Okay, so one of the questions that we had was about one question that I often get is to do with if a student comes to Georgian, they're an international student, and then they are admitted to a program, a 2-year diploma program. Once they're finished, can they then also apply for another program, maybe a graduate certificate program? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Definitely. So as an international student, you can definitely apply for, again, as many programs as you want, depending on your study permit. Your immigration is involved. You need to make sure that you have a valid study permit in order to study in Canada as a full-time international student. Secondly, when you come for the first time, whatever program that you're doing, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you need to be full-time throughout your journey. You cannot become a part-time student because it will impact your immigration in Canada. If you're doing a 1-year program in Canada or 2 year, and you want to do another year or 2 year of academic program, you can do that as well. All you need to do is you should apply before the start of the program, well before, so that you get the letter of acceptance, and you can do the immigration formalities, which is you need to extend your study permit for the entire duration of your next program.
Wonderful. Thanks for that. Somebody has asked a question. They said, can they change campuses in Georgian for the same program? So I actually answered that, but that is kind of a good question, because if you're coming from outside of Canada, you might not be aware of the fact that Georgian has 7 different campuses, and some of them offer different programs. So somebody may want to switch from the Barrie campus to, let's say, Owen Sound in our culinary management program. It is possible. There is a process involved. You would have to formally go through the admissions and the program academic area to get approval from for that. But it is not out of the question. So if you wanted to experience 2 different parts of beautiful Central Ontario, then that is definitely a possibility. All right, so a couple more questions that we have come through. You did talk a little bit about housing, that you assist, or international team does assist with housing. Can you talk a little bit about some of the different housing options that exist for international students at Georgian?
Yes, so for housing, you have on-campus housing and off-campus housing. You can either choose on-campus residence as a housing option for during academic journey, or you can choose off-campus housing. You can choose for independent houses or independent rooms to rent. But again, there are several factors that are involved, which is safe housing. You're following all the rules and regulation. You're not overcrowding the house. You're making sure that you have a lease and a contract so that you are legally safe in case anything bad happens at your permanent housing. But in any case, in any way you need any guidance, International Centre always helps you with anything that you need, from information to to situations when you need housing in urgent situations.
Wonderful. So again, the supports are there in place, which is really important. Can you provide an overview of basically the international admission process or the application process for international students? It is a little different than for domestic students. So maybe kind of direct them to where they would go on the website to learn more, how they connect with their in-country representatives, that kind of thing.
Definitely. So
Thanks.
There are several ways how you apply to be a student at Georgian. One way is that you find an agent, in-country representative, or you apply through an agent from your country, and they will do all the communication, they will do all the work, they will let you know if you're eligible for the program or not, or which program is offered at which campus, what are the requirements. Second is that you do the research and you apply directly for Georgian just by going to the online web page, and you send your application personally through us. We do the assessment and we let you know whether you're eligible or not.
How long does that process usually take?
That totally depends. So if it's an intake, which is, for example, if you're applying for winter 2021 intake for any program which might be open for international students, considering the fact that you are eligible to study, the immigration rules and requirements around that, you might be getting the letter of acceptance sooner than for the program that you're applying for summer 2021 or fall 2021 because of prioritization to the applications.
Okay, great. All right.
Sorry, Sylvia.
Go ahead.
So
go ahead.
I would just like to talk about the DLI list because some students might be getting conscious around DLI list. So DLI, which is Designated Learning Institution. Now, as I said, that only those students who are allowed in Canada who are studying at an institution whose COVID-19 readiness plan has been approved. Next list is expected next week, someday. Now, if Georgian will be on the list, as I keep getting questions, when will be Georgian on the list? We do not know about that. Another question that we get is that what is taking so long? So it's just several policies and procedures that IRCC and Georgian keep having. Any rules and requirements that IRCC wants in the plan, they just keep on reviewing because they need to make sure that when the student enters Canada, enter Canada, they do not face any difficulties during their quarantine and they safely quarantine, because we understand you're coming from your home country and you might feel overwhelmed because you have to quarantine by yourself 14 days. You have all the services that you need by your side. You don't have to look out for services. We just want to make sure that once the plan is there and once the plan is approved, your satisfaction is our priority.
Exactly. And just to reiterate, this is constantly changing, being updated, as is the case in all over the world. If something is happening today, it could be different tomorrow. So just keep looking at our website. We have a whole section on our homepage, and every single page there's an orange banner that says COVID update, and it's got a specific section for international students as well. So you just click on that link as we keep updating communication, right? Great.
And if you feel that you want to know more about the DLI list, when it will be out, if you're not able to find it for yourself, you can always log into the live chat and ask questions regarding that. Again, this list is not final. It keeps on updating every week, every 2 weeks. This is not the final list because sometimes students get conscious around that. This might be the final list. It's not the final list. It keeps on getting updated. Another thing that I wanted to talk about was if you are a winter 2021, so if you're thinking about starting school in winter 2021 and traveling to Canada, please make sure that you do not travel early, because if you have classes starting January, which is January 18, the class start date, the perfect date to travel would be 21 to 25 days before the start of your classes, because as immigration officers might not be comfortable with the fact that in these circumstances you're traveling 1 month or 2 months in advance. So even if we get approval next week by IRCC for a readiness plan, please do not make any travel plans for November end or December 1st week, as immigration officers might not be comfortable with you traveling so soon for your classes starting in January and might not allow you to enter Canada. So wait until 21 to 25 days. And why I say 21 to 25 days is because you get 14 days to quarantine then and 7 days to get settled in your permanent housing before you start your classes.
Wonderful. All right. So we have been answering quite a few questions, and we are kind of slowly coming to the end of our session. And one of the things that I just wanted to highlight is if folks can't think of a question right now, that Sid had mentioned that every 3 times a week, there's an Instagram live chat session, and that is a really great opportunity to jump in and get your questions answered. But remember, it's in Eastern Standard Time, so 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. So you might have to, it might be, I guess, it might be late in the middle of the night from your home country.
Definitely.
Yeah. Do you ever offer sessions that are in our evening, which could coincide with another host country's morning?
So the best part about these live sessions is that they get posted as well. And in the description, we write what we covered in the live session. For example, we covered about DLI update. We covered about how to apply for Georgian, or we covered about I want to change my program. So we will write in the description what we talked about in that particular live session. So you can always go back and check the live video at your convenience.
Great, thank you so much. So just going back to our questions. Yeah, we've got a question here. It says, what if my visa still is in process and my classes are starting in January? I know you kind of touched on that a little bit, but can you cover that again? Yep,
definitely. So again, this is something which is immigration related. I know that for fall 2020, there was something called AIP, which is approval in principle, through which you could start your program. But again, these laws, regulations, they keep on changing by IRCC, just for the convenience of students if they want to travel or not. I cannot comment on that because again, this might change. So the best person who I often advise is that the best person to contact for anything regarding visa processes or immigration is an immigration consultant in your home country who will have expert knowledge on that. It's just that it's a very sensitive issue and you have everything's at high stake. You don't want to have any kind of wrong information due to which something bad happen to your application. So you might want to consult an immigration consultant in your home country.
Great advice. All right, so coming kind of close to the end of the session here, are there any kind of top 3 tips that you can kind of give to prospective international students as they make their journey into exploring if Georgian College is the right college for them and then coming here?
Definitely. So the top 3, I won't say the top 3, few of the advices that I have felt as a student as well is that please ask us if you have any questions. Do not ask your friends because some things might change, some policies or procedures. Again, as I said, they keep on changing. Again, we have the knowledge on something because we are working for you. So if you have any questions or any issues, ask us directly. Do not have any fears around that. We will be more than happy to help you with any question that you have. The only thing is if you ask your friends and they're giving you false information, your future gets affected, and we don't want that. At any point, you can always contact us through emails or, as I said, live chats. Drop in the live chat, ask questions, or drop us an email, and we will be more than happy to help you with that. Other thing is that just have an open mindset. That's it. You are coming to a beautiful country where you will find, and especially to a college where you will find students from 85 countries. That's a lot of knowledge. Once you're in a country where the workforce and students are from different countries and cultures, you get to learn a lot more. For example, if you're a business student, you might be having knowledge about how business is done in your home country. But when you study at Georgian, you get to know how business is done in 15 other countries in the world, because everyone will share their own life experiences and their own experience as a student in their home country. So you get to learn a lot more. And the last one is global citizenship. It's a fact that the global workforce is changing. Wherever you work, you will have your vendor, your supplier, your customer your HR in different countries around the world. So how you work with them, how you work around them, how you work in that environment, that's called global citizenship and cultural sensitivity. If you're able to do that, if you can work with different people, you are the most employable person in the sector.
Wonderful. Great 3 high-level overviews and tips to become successful as a prospective student or a student at Georgian. So that is coming to the end of our live session. I wanted to thank Sid for his participation and representing our international center and our international students. And we will continue to respond to a couple of questions in the live chat. We just really appreciate you participating. And again, just wanted to highlight that the International Centre continues to support international students by those weekly, 3 times a week, Instagram live chat sessions. So thanks for doing that. All right.
Thanks, Sylvia.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.